Everybody, it's Nicole. It's Monday, and so if you have been following along, this is the step 3 to my project that I'm working on with resin. Um and here's the thing, I know that I haven't gotten a lot of views on the videos, and that's fine. It bothers me a little bit, but it is what it is because I've decided that I am going to make this channel what I'd like it to be, which has been always it's always been a mix of yarn stuff, which has always been popular, and then of course crocheting, and then I know you guys love my resin art, and then talking about mental health, chronic illnesses, and whatnot. And so I just figured this is something fun, something different. I've gotten a lot of positive comments on the videos after I've posted them about how interesting it is to see the process. I know you guys want to see more, see my lives come back, and I am planning on doing that once I have a better idea of how my resin works in the new environment, because especially right now, because it's cold, I am still I'm learning how my resin is reacting to the colder temperatures. So with that being said, it is what it is. You guys can enjoy the videos, whichever ones you choose to view, and that's fine with me. The one thing I do ask though is, I love when I get new subscribers. That's always a fantastic thing for me. I love it. The last time I checked, I think I was maybe 20 away from, my next milestone, which is fine as well. If I do a giveaway and you subscribe, I really would appreciate it if you would give me a chance by sticking with me and not unsubscribing right away. Because otherwise, I'm not gonna have any more giveaways, because it's just not worthwhile for me to, have subscribers join and then turn around and unsubscribe. So I mean, I get it. People want to win stuff, and as some people have said, that says more about the other person than it does about me, and that's perfectly fine. It just bothers me because I don't work. My family and I, basically, we live off of my husband's employment and my disability. So I don't make a lot of money off of my disability. So the things that I get, I do through like Sezzle or Klarna. So I make payments on them. I try not to put anything on credit cards, and that's gotten me into a lot of trouble in the past. And so my husband and I have worked a long time for several years to get that under control, so that hopefully within the next year or so we can purchase a home, because that is our ultimate goal, so that we can leave a legacy for our my 2 boys, and that's part of the reason why we moved here. But the other thing is that what I give away, I have bought, and so a lot of the things that I'm giving away is stuff that I had hoped to hold on as a part of my stash, either to make into things or things that I just really like. So I'm giving stuff away that is, that I really like, that is personal, personally for me. So in any case, if you do subscribe, you like my stuff, fantastic. If you don't, that's fine. I understand if it's not your cup of tea, but it is what it is. So with that being said, I will show you where we are right now. So if you remember, I made that puff flower that I crocheted. And then my last video, I put it in some resin in this mold. And today, the next day, so the resin, if you can see, is maybe, I don't know, not quite a halfway up to the top. And I made about 2 ounces of just clear resin, and it's sitting here. I'm letting the bubbles rise up to the top and dissipate, so that when I pour it into the mold, I'm going to let it sit again, let it thicken up a little bit. And this time what I'm going to do is, because, and I'm hoping that I'll have enough resin to get up to, you know, maybe about here. I don't want it all the way up to here necessarily, because the I want the base to be a little bit wider. So eventually, when I unmold it, which I will show you, will go through that process. It will be, you know, this is how the egg will be. So the crystals and stuff will be here, and the alcohol ink will be here. So essentially what you'll be looking at is the petri dish upside down, if that makes sense. So it will be interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the clear resin in, and then, which I will show you here in just a second, and then I'm going to use some of the glitters that I showed you in the last video, which are these. And then I'm going to put some alcohol ink. And so the colors that I picked out, these are new colors. I've had them for a while, just never used them. That's the quote-unquote hoarder in me. I love to collect pigments and stuff to use in different projects. It's just a matter of, you know, what ideas pop in my head. What would I like to see? So since the resin is so viscous, even after I've, you know, let it, even, you know, though I've worked with it before, it's a lot more viscous because of the colder weather. So I figured, let's see what happens when I let it sit a little bit longer and let it, you know, cure a little bit more. And I'm watching the time, because I don't want it to like really, because once it starts curing really fast. So I don't want it to cure to the point where I can't get that peachy look to a point, okay? So the colors we're going to be using today is, and it's by Ranger, that's the brand, is Pink Sherbet, and that's this color here. And then the other color, same brand, is called Cloudy Blue. And so I picked the Cloudy Blue because it matches the crystals that I put in. I think it was lapis lazuli, and then the pink in as like a real pop of color and stuff. So what we're gonna do first is I'm going to put my gloves on. We're gonna flip the camera, and then of course my wonderful messy pusher here, which I brought with me all the way from Hawaii. It's all gonna get added in, but so what we're gonna do first is I'm going to put the resin in. I'm going to put in some glitter, just some, because I really want to be able to kind of get a little bit of this and that, and you know, all these different like things, but not like completely overwhelm the look and take away from the flower itself. But I want this different look, and I don't know, I have this idea in my head where I want the petri dish on the bottom so it looks like it's climbing up the resin, and then, you know, the crystals were on the top, and then the flower is kind of floating in the center. Hopefully you won't be able to see the line. I don't know. This is the first time I've done things this way, so we'll see how it works. If it doesn't work, I'm not, I won't be mad. You know what I mean? This is all an experiment. That's what experiments are for. So I'm gonna pause it, flip the camera, and then we'll see how things work out when I've started adding things in, okay? Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to see that. Actually, let me apologize. I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna move my camera up just a little bit so that it gives me a little bit working space. Okay. And for those of you who don't know, I don't work with anything fancy. I record everything on my phone. I just have this setup where it's like a clip-on thing that you can actually plug in that has a ring light on it, but I never plug it in. I really should. But anyway, and then the other thing, I probably won't be posting anything, at least in tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, because I have a doctor's appointment with a new neurologist, which doctor's office is like over an hour away, or an hour away, at least what they told me, in Edmond, Oklahoma. So, and I live in Stillwater. So with that being said, here's the resin. It's nice and clear, or it's clear-ish. There is bubbles in here. And I have let it sit for maybe about 10 minutes or so. I can feel it start to warm up, but it is still liquidy. So we are going to pour this in, and we're gonna see how much it fills up the mold. Okay, and I apologize if the cup is blocking. And it might need to make a little bit more. Because resin is not covering the entire flower. Of course it doesn't. And I don't want that, which actually might end up working out for me because I want to add that glitter. Okay, so let's add the glitter now. And let me get the paper towel. Okay, so I just picked something. And then after I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make probably another 2 ounces of resin. I'm just cleaning off the mat here. And so what I picked was this here, if you can see it. It's just these cute little pink stars. And I'm just gonna put just a little bit in. And I'll show you. I don't want to mix it into the resin. I'm just gonna, and I don't know if you can see that. It's like the insides and the outsides of the stars, kind of like donuts and donut holes. So that's what, it's a little bit of fun glitter. And again, I know everybody says don't apologize for shaking. I gotta apologize. It's terrible. It's because I'm sick. That's why I shake, and they don't know why. Why? And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get the resin in, or I'm trying to get the glitter inside of the mold, and then I'm gonna move the glitter where I want it. And I probably will have to get some new gloves when I pour my next batch of resin when I do the alcohol ink, because the glitter, as is with glitter, once you touch it, it gets on everything. So so you can see the glitter in the molds, and it's actually sticking to the flower, and I don't want that. I want it in the resin. As much as I possibly can get it in there. And when I poured it yesterday, which was Sunday, it's hard. So I'm trying my best to distribute the glitter as evenly as I can. Okay, so I know you probably can't see it, but I can see it. Okay, so I'm gonna hold up this right here is where it's filled to. And I think what I may have to do is I'm gonna have to purchase some cups that are slightly smaller so I can pour smaller amounts, because there's no measuring amount for less than an ounce. And that's about what I want. And I don't want the full 2 ounces, but it is what it is. All right, so I will be right back. Let me pour out and get some new gloves, some more resin, so we can fill up the rest of the mold, and then work on that petri dish look that I'm looking for. All right, so I went ahead and poured another 2 ounces of resin, and I let it sit for about 10 minutes or so, and there are still bubbles in it, if you can see there. I did not stir it very vigorously. It's just because it's cold out. I mean, I think I realize it is not currently 7 o'clock in the morning. That's, the last time I looked at my thermostat, it said it was 32 or 34. I think today's high is supposed to be 51. But when you compare that to Hawaii, where it's usually about 80 to 85 degrees on a daily basis, that is the change in temperature that I am dealing with. So, it sits in my master / craft room. So there is, a definite change in temperature. So that's what I am relearning. I don't have any problem with that. This is always a learning process. I'm sure with you guys, like with crocheting or knitting, you know, there's always a new stitch to learn, a new pattern to learn. It's a learning process, and that's what makes, you know, crafting fun. And that also is what, for me anyway, takes my mind off of all the other BS when it comes to my mental health and chronic issues go. So but I wanted to yeah, as I was sitting and waiting to watching the bubbles hopefully dissipate enough for me to be like, okay, I feel comfortable enough for me to pour into my molds. So I wanted to, let you know, like I said, that I won't be posting anything at least in the next day or so. And I apologize for that. I know you guys say that I don't need to apologize, but I have a neurology appointment. This is a new neurologist. I've had to start all over again because I've moved from Hawaii to Oklahoma, and I have had to start and building a completely new medical team for me. And there are some things that I have learned, like I have a vitamin D deficiency. I also have a low white blood cell count. Possibly I need to have my blood drawn again, but I'm gonna save all of that for another video. Don't worry about me. I'm sure I will be okay, but I will, like I said, when it comes to those vlogs and updates and stuff, I want to start doing those more. Whether it's, a self-care vlog or whatever it is, I'm going to start doing that more often because I think it's important for everybody. So you can watch them or not watch them, is completely up to you. Another thing too is that at the end of this particular series, I am planning on doing another giveaway, and there will be a little quiz on the last video, or whichever the last video it is, and you will have to have some idea as to, at some point watch my videos to be able to enter into said giveaway. But in any case, let's get a move on with pouring hopefully enough resin into the rest of the mold, high enough to cover my crochet flower, and then pour in or put in the alcohol ink. I don't want to put a lot because I don't want to muddy the resin too much. I'm gonna put a couple of drops of everything, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, so mainly because I talk too much. All right, so yeah, I talk too much. All right, so I am getting that in there, and it's a total of, again, 2 ounces of resin, there's a another YouTuber, and her name just slips my mind. I was watching her last night, and she makes some molds, and she has a channel as well. And I would really like to get a hold of at least one of her molds, and work with them and see how they are. When I do, I will definitely do that. So this mold probably holds like the 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7 ounces of resin in its entirety, because I'm sure you can see the resin doesn't go all the way up to the top, and I don't want it to go all the way up to the top for this particular project. I want there to be, and I also changed my popsicle stick because the other popsicle stick had resin at the top here where I'm holding it, and I don't want that. And then I put on some new gloves, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I can see some big bubbles coming to the top. And that's because, more than likely, because of the flower, the crocheted flower. So what I am going to use first for the alcohol ink is the cloudy blue, okay? And try to be as neat as possible. Ah. Okay. And that dang shaking. Okay. So I'm sure you saw that I put the blue on the outside edges and the pink in the center. That's all I'm gonna do. And then we'll get the white. Again, I don't want too much. I just want just a touch of color. I'm hoping that in my head, that's what I see. Because I don't want to, like I said, take away from the work that I did on the crocheted flower, okay? And it's hard with this mold. And then the pink in the center. And we'll do white. I don't know if you guys can see the alcohol ink moving around. That's always my favorite part, is seeing the alcohol ink move around. Okay, I'm not gonna add any more to the mold. Put my cap back on there. And I'm just gonna leave it alone. Leave it alone. And I'm gonna see when we unmold it, how it comes out. And how it trickles down, you know, down the two, or the total of 4 ounces of resin. The 2 that I poured first with the glitter, and then this to here, because one, I think, was probably curing a little bit more and quicker. Actually, I see a bubble here that I want to get rid of. I don't want that. Okay, so I am going to clean up, and no more touching, no more fiddling with anything. And then when I come back after my appointment, we will unmold and we'll see what it looks like. And sorry, there's another bubble. I don't want those bubbles. But I may not be able to avoid it just because of the crocheted stuff. And hey, you never know, I might actually like it. All right, so that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. And don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification, put a comment down below. I want to hear what you have to say. And I'm actually going to be receiving an order from Lion Brand today, I believe. And then I'm going to be unboxing it because they had mystery bags. And y'all know how much of a sucker I am for those. So I went ahead and I bought one, just one, because that's all they were allowed to customers. And I'm going to unbox that. So get ready for that too. All right? Bye.